Today, we're going to be reading the book Giant Pandas by Gail Gibbons. This book is a nonfiction book. Nonfiction books give readers information and tell true facts about a topic. What do you think today's topic is going to be? Here we go. Misty, thick clouds hang over the mountaintops. A large black and white animal makes its way through a bamboo forest. It is a giant panda. Giant pandas live in the mountains of China. The Chinese people call the giant panda Dezhong Mao, meaning big bear cat. It looks like a bear and has long claws like a cat. We learned about other animals that use paws and claws this week. Here on this page, we can find a text feature called a map. A map helps you to see where something is on the earth. This map shows us China. The dark yellow here is where the pandas used to live. The red, these smaller areas, are where panda bears live now. There are a lot less pandas now than there were. Giant pandas are members of the bear family. Giant panda characteristics. Characteristics are something you need to know about a topic. Adult giant pandas are about 4 to 5 feet long and normally about 200 pounds. Most of the time, they move very slowly, but if they want, they can move as fast as a trot. A trot is pretty slow. It would be like a walking horse. Their bodies are very flexible. The fur of a giant panda is thick, coarse, and oily to keep the panda's body warm and dry. The fur is about 2 inches long. Now on this page, Gail Gibbons also gives us some important information about the parts of a giant panda. We can see labels that she uses in the illustration to show the different parts of a panda. As readers, we need to note that Gail Gibbons uses illustrations, not photographs. Even though this is what a panda looks like, it's not 100% accurate. A photograph would give us a more accurate picture of a panda. These labels help us to see and learn about the different parts of the panda. Eyes, snout, nose, mouth, claws, paws, stomach, legs, scent glands, tail, fur, back, ears, and neck. And then these two here telling you about the underneath the white fur is pink skin, and underneath the black fur is black skin. Those are important details about the panda. Giant pandas have poor eyesight, but they have excellent sense of smell and hearing. In fact, pandas are hard to find in the wild because they can hide when they smell or hear people coming. Normally, giant pandas are shy and tend to stay by themselves. When they want to communicate with one another, they use about 11 different kinds of sounds. They bark, growl, squeal, and make other sounds to mean different things. So because they live alone, they have to make these different kinds of sounds to tell other pandas what they need to say. So a bark means hello. A growling or snorting means I'm frightened. So you can see here that the author gives us text or a caption to say what's going on in the picture and give us more information. Giant pandas also communicate by leaving their scent to tell other pandas that they are in the area. They do this by rubbing a smelly liquid from the glands under their tails onto rocks or trees. Thousands of years ago, giant pandas only ate meat, but over time their diet changed to mostly plants, mainly bamboo. Occasionally they eat grass, roots, vines, honey, or even meat. All of these details are important for us to know about how the panda bear survives. Bamboo, because bamboo is not very nutritious, giant pandas must spend between 10 and 16 hours a day eating it in order to stay strong and healthy. That can be longer than us staying awake. Most of the time we're awake for about 12 hours. So they eat as long as we're awake and sometimes even more. They do this in order to stay strong and healthy. The average panda eats about 27 pounds of bamboo in a single day. Giant pandas have 5 claws on each of their paws, and they also have a special thumb on their front paws. They use their thumbs and claws to grasp bamboo. So here on this page, we see that there are labels to help us see the thumb and the paw and the claw holding on to the bamboo. We learned about paws and claws on many other animals earlier this week. Here we can see more labels on the panda bear. We see a jaw, and then we see the teeth of the panda. Giant pandas use their big teeth and powerful jaws to crush and eat the bamboo stalks. They also eat the leaves. Giant pandas can be playful and athletic. They do somersaults and climb trees quite easily. Also, giant pandas can swim, holding their heads above water while they paddle with their legs. So here you can see the pandas playing. And here we can see the important information of how they survive using their teeth and their strong jaws to eat the bamboo. Giant pandas don't have a regular sleeping place. They sleep on the ground, in the base of a hollow tree, or wherever and whenever they feel tired. They sleep 2 to 4 hours at a time. Male and female giant pandas come together to mate in the springtime. After mating, the male goes off on his own. The female makes a bed of bamboo, twigs, and grasses in a cave or among rocks or a hollow tree. This place is called a den. So they're building a home for them to have their baby. And something different about pandas than some other animals is that they don't have just one sleeping place. They just find a place wherever they can, and they take short nap-like sleeps. So they don't sleep a long period of time, very short. In the autumn, about 5 months later, the mother panda gives birth to 1 or 2 babies called cubs. Immediately after giving birth, she begins nursing one of the cubs. A mother will raise only 1 cub at a time. Only 1 will survive. In their natural habitat, mothers usually give birth every 1 to 3 years. And here the author gives more information. And she says, a habitat is where an animal lives in nature. A cub is very small. It only weighs about 3 ounces and is about 6 inches long, so that's pretty short. The mother is about 900 times larger than her cub. It's amazing how gentle she can be. Gentle means be easy or to be careful. The cub has pink skin all over and some fuzzy white fur. Its cry sounds like a human baby. The mother holds her cub about almost all the time. She won't leave to get food or for herself for about 1 week after her cub's birth. In about 40 days, the cub opens its eyes it has its black and white markings, and it's still helpless. When the mother wants to move her cub, she gently picks it up by its neck and carries it from place to place. At about 4 months old, the cub is able to crawl. At 7 months old, the cub can run and climb trees. It weighs about 20 pounds and has learned how to eat bamboo. At about 2 years old, the young giant panda weighs up to 120 pounds. It has learned all it can from its mother. Now it's time for the young panda to live on its own. In another 2 years, it will be able to have its own young, or babies. Over the years, the number of giant pandas has become smaller because of the deconstruction of their natural habitat by people, accidental deaths and traps set for other animals, and the hunting of pandas for their fur. Because of the size of adult giant pandas have few natural enemies except for people. Around 1900, there were about 65,000 giant pandas living in the wild. Today, there are fewer than 1,000. People of China are trying to protect them. They have set aside large areas called reserves where giant pandas can live safely. Also, it is a crime to harm or kill a giant panda. In China, and in a small number of other countries, scientists are trying to help increase the population of giant pandas. These pandas are cared for in captivity. That means like a cage or a very special place where they're kept safe. The scientists try to encourage the pandas to give birth and care for their cubs. When the young giant pandas are capable of living on their own, some of them are released back into the wild. Nature reserves in China or other places like zoos. Whenever there are giant pandas in a zoo, people love to come by to see them. They look big, chubby, black and white teddy bears that are very playful. It is so much fun watching them. Giant pandas are one of the rarest and most appealing animals in the world. And here we have our final page that says Pandas, Pandas, Pandas. And this is a place that you can learn more exciting things about pandas. And there's plenty of information the author gives that you might want to learn about. And that is the end of our story. So I hope that you enjoyed Giant Pandas. This is a great nonfiction book to help us learn about pandas and how they survive in their natural habitat and all of the important things and characteristics of the panda as well.